Well, it seems like you guys have tried just about everything. Is it the point where you're really having a hard time finding answers of what's wrong right now?
Yeah. I think now we're just squeezing our sticks. We're not. We just gotta figure it out here. We've worked hard to kind of figure it out, and we will figure it out. It's just need that first win so we can have a little breather. And it's not a good time right now, and we need to figure it out soon.
Road trip help maybe just clears this reversal.
Yeah, we need this right now. We need to get it so that it's just us together, and we can kind of converse about what we want to do and how we're going to play. There's no outside distractions. Obviously, guys are at home. Everyone has families and stuff like that. So, on the road, we're each other's family.
Yeah, I think it's good timing to go on a road trip and kind of get all the guys together. And we've been talking a lot and trying to find ways to get a win. And we really think that we're not far off. And when we get that first win, we're going to relax a little bit more and kind of have a little bit more confidence.
I mean, we went through the 10-game losing streak there, which obviously none of us were happy about. But I think the impressive thing from the players' standpoint was that they stuck together. Anybody that's been in the game a long time has been through those types of streaks before, and the first thing that happens is a team fractures, and then you're in trouble. Things can start going downhill, and I give our guys and our coaching staff credit for sticking together and battling through it. And isn't where we want to be right now, but hopefully we start going, and we need to put a streak together.
Obviously pretty cool to be back here, spent 3 years here, and a little familiar territory, a little different on the opposition side, but it's good to be back. I got billet family in town, and a bunch of teammates and friends that live here as well. So it's pretty cool to be able to have a junior team that has an NHL team as well. And I was lucky enough to play for the Hitmen, and had a lot of great memories there.
Calgary, Alberta is the first stop in a demanding 3-game, 4-night trip. And already feeling like the world's against them, the Flyers recognize that at times they've actually been their own worst enemy. The fear of mounting penalties and mistakes can paralyze a team. How does a club with little confidence fight through that? Lazar skates in with a shot, saved by Elliott. They scored on the rebound, and Calgary got to it first. It's going to be Troy Brouwer that got to it. That's his first goal all season. First in 33 games, and Troy Brouwer's given the Flames the 1-0 lead.
Looking cross ice, now drops it back. Here's McDonald turning and taking the shot. Hit a body, they score! Raffle is in front, so is Philpott. And it winds up in the net. Smith couldn't control that one, and the game is tied at 1. A good response from the Flyers.
For the first period. Out to Jake Voracek, top right circle, Whites threw it out in front, loose puck, they score! Wayne Simmons on the power play has his second in 5 games, and the Flyers have it rolling now. 3 second period goals, it's 4-1. They come into Calgary and end their 10-game skid with a 5-2 victory over the Flames. Flyers, I think, have done a fairly good job of staying positive, certainly not pointing fingers at each other, and it finally pays off in Calgary tonight.
Been in the closet for way too long, boys.
First time?
First time.
Get your boy in the
Keep
crowd.
that,
Feel good, obviously getting a win after 10 wins.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, no, it was a good game from start to finish, and it feels unreal. Yeah, it's been a while.
It was a big road trip for us. Especially with what had happened previously, and I thought as a group, we were just more of a confident group. When you start winning games, the overall vibe in the dressing room, and the way guys are carrying themselves on and off the ice, I think you're just more open to making plays and playing more to your game, not gripping your stick as tightly. When you're winning hockey games, and I thought that definitely helped us throughout the road trip.
Thank you, Flyer fans, for your unwavering support. With our first pick in the 2014 entry draft, the Philadelphia Flyers select from Calgary of the Western Hockey League, Travis Sanheim.
As it was leading up, I remember starting to shake when the Flyers started to go up on stage because with it being in Philadelphia, the fans were pretty crazy, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to stand if they selected me, and when they did, it was obviously really cool.
Travis was a little bit of a stretch. We stepped up, and certainly that's a credit to our staff. There's always a thing where you can take what we call a safe pick, a guy that you know is going to play, maybe his upside is limited, and we took what we call a swing there.
I think we went back motivated and excited to go back and be more of a confident guy and more of a leader and a guy that your other teammates looked up to, and just trying to be more of a complete player.
Penner trying to get it to him. It was blocked. Padaka out of the slot, skate to the stick, backhand scores! There it is! First in the Western Hockey League for Travis Sanheim, and it's 2-0.
Typically they just turned 18, and Travis was a young boy at that time. When I say that, he was a young 18-year-old. His, physically, his facial features, his body, like everything was very young at that time, which is obviously part of what we talk about upside. He came back, I distinctly remember him coming in when we drafted him to development camp, coming back a year later in development camp, then a year later, but the biggest change might have been this past summer in development camp when he came in and really was a leader of our group. One of the older guys was a leader of our group, so to see him from 18 to 21, there's an enormous difference in physically, but also mentally.
Flyers juggled their forward lines in Calgary and finally halted that 10-game losing streak. Tonight in Edmonton, they try to make it 2 in a row. It's the Flyers and Oilers from Rogers Place in Edmonton, and it's coming up.
After winning in Calgary, we wanted to come out the same way and play the same way, and I think that's what we did. We played hard through 60 minutes. It was a tight game, but we stuck with our game plan and helped us win the game.
Spear that was taken up by Connor McDavid. He threatens to break the other way. Shorthanded. Out in front. They score. McDavid to Leon Draisaitl. That first unit caught out there the whole time. And Edmonton scores their 4th shorthanded goal of the year. Draisaitl makes it 1-0 Edmonton.
To be able to come back and get one on the power play fairly short, quickly after that was big. But that's, hopefully that shows a little bit of the mentality of the group. They want to go, get right back at it, and even though it was a short-handed goal, we hadn't made many mistakes to that point. So guys just went right back to work.
Well, the Edmonton net is empty. Brossoit is on the bench. The Oilers have the extra attacker out. Philadelphia trying to make this 1-goal lead stand up in the last minute and a half of regulation time.
The Flyers did a real good job defensively, had the right people out there, Provorov and McDonald, who were out there an awful lot in the latter part of this hockey game.
It'll be Wayne Simmons' 9th goal of the season into an empty net. He's got 3 goals in the last 6 games. And Philadelphia is going to sweep the season series from the Edmonton Oilers.
The job that you guys did on Connor and really limiting his play with the puck in the open ice.
Yeah, we just try to limit his time and space, and I think our main focus today was play with the puck. And if we play with the puck, play on offense, they can't score.
play. How good is Provorov? That pass, he had the angle like a billiards player. It was absolutely perfect. This guy's a pro. I felt really strongly that he was going to have a good shot to make the National Hockey League this year with the Philadelphia Flyers. Look at this, head up, and it's lightning quick, perfectly placed to a right-handed shot in the right wing. That's unbelievable. And Arenke doesn't play.
Ivan was he was at a different stage physically and maturity-wise than a kid like Sanheim. Ivan was mature as an 18-year-old, had a mature body, was very mature as a person. Now, in saying that, the year before his draft year, he hit a wall. Towards the end of the year, late in the playoffs, he hit a wall, and he wasn't the same player. So that's one of those indicators for us that a season up here as an 18-year-old, he's in all likelihood going to hit a wall. We sent him back. There's no doubt in my mind that it was the right decision. Maybe not a popular decision, but that's another topic. It was the right decision for Ivan, so it was the right decision for our franchise. We believe if he wasn't the best player in junior hockey, he was certainly one of the best. And to me, it allowed him as a 19-year-old to come in here last year and make an impact.
You know, I think that year helped me, even though I thought I could have played, and I was very disappointed to go back. But then, once I got back, I turned the page and tried to get better, every day and every game. And I think that's what I did. I think we had a really good teams both years. First year went to the finals, second year went to the finals again, won the league, went to Memorial Cup. Valuable experience. I can thank my billet family in Brandon and the whole organization enough that, for helping me grow as a player and as a person.
As we settle in for the third period, Flyers with a 3-1 lead. Coatsy, this is a huge period for the Flyers. They can go home sweeping all 3 games if they can win the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and we talk about short shifts. We're talking about preservation because...
It's hard because you have a 2 and then a 3-hour time change. So you're battling that. Obviously, you're on the plane a long time getting out there. Typically the other team is fresh. We had 2 late nights on that trip. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot more to that trip than just playing 3 games in 4 nights, which obviously is tough enough as it is. But again, the time change, the late nights, it all adds up. So that was certainly a good trip, and our guys got it out.
Yeah, it's big. We knew we needed to change some things and get a different frame of mind. I think coming out here let us kind of get together a little bit and look at yourself in the mirror and say, what can I do to turn this around? And a lot of guys did a lot of the little things that made us successful the last 3 games here.